A lot of guys have been talking about, it felt like that was the Oilers playing like the Oilers the other night at the Heritage Classic. Great night, obviously. How do you feel about the preparation over the last couple of days going into this game tonight to make sure that that type of play and that type of feeling carries over?
Yeah, we had 2 good days of practice. We were able to address some things in our game that we want to see continued improvement, and the fellas did a good job, but ultimately we'll answer that question tonight.
Maybe just a thought on Dallas. They played last night in Calgary. Just how good an opponent they are and the challenges they bring.
Well, you look at their lineup. I think they're well balanced up front. You know, they're strong at every position. You know, they're one of the preeminent teams here in the Western Conference and have been for a while. They're always a tough opponent, well coached, and we're going to have to bring our A game tonight. This is a different animal coming into our building here.
Morning, Jay.
Good morning.
Speaking of the Dallas Stars, how about Miro Heiskanen and just his evolution as a defenseman? Obviously goes up against Connor McDavid, but his ability to play both ends of the ice.
Yeah, I mean, he plays huge minutes too. So I think, you know, as a coach on the other side, you want to make sure those minutes are hard minutes if he's going to play that amount. I think he gets up and down the rink very nicely, defends well. You know, he's obviously their number one back there, so he's a good player. You know, and I think those 3 guys came out of that same draft, right? Like one at every position in the goaltender, Ottinger, and then, you know, on defense, Heiskanen, and then Robertson as well. They represent the younger portion of their core. You know, we're going to have to be ready. Like I said, they got a lot of good players.
In talking to your players this week, a lot of them said that Warren Fogle has such a heavy shot. Do you feel like at times it's maybe underutilized and you encourage him to shoot the puck a little bit more?
Yes, I encourage all of our players to shoot the puck because a lot of times, and I think this goes, you know, not talked about enough, is that sometimes it's not about, you know, maybe picking that little small corner. It's about what your shot creates for other people and how it puts teams in trouble or in the soup. You know, they usually when a shot's taken, you have to turn, sort things out, and it leads you not being into position. And so having a shot-first mentality is important to us. For Warren, it's heavy. It's hard. We've talked, as I mentioned yesterday, a lot about hitting the net with that first chance and then making sure we're following it up to score in the dirty areas.
So you talk about shots. Some teams are shot volume. LA, you've played them twice in the playoffs. They shoot them all over the place. So do you look at a team like that and say, yeah, but the shots are coming from outside the face-off dots, so it's not that big a deal?
Well, I think what you do is you try and understand the way the other team wants the game to be played. I would use Calgary in the last few years has been a heavy shot volume team. You understand that. You don't get fooled by the shot clock. I think there's things you can do to mitigate or control teams that want to play like that. But in the end, different teams try and find different ways to win games, have different identities and different personnel. You know, some teams believe in that philosophy.
No Janmark again. Is he more than day-to-day?
No Janmark today. He's not playing in tonight's game. That's probably as comfortable as I would go here and saying until we get a little bit further medical information.
Thank you.
Jay, Sam Gagner hasn't played in a while, an NHL game in a while. He's obviously had the chance to play in Bakersfield, but with 11 forwards, what challenges does that kind of prevent for a coach bringing in a player that hasn't?
Well, Sam's here to help. Sam's here to give that bottom 6 a little bit different flavor to its complexion. Sam, before he got hurt last year, was a part of a Winnipeg team that got off to a really good start. He was moved all around the lineup. You know, he's someone who is a veteran hockey player. He's going to be able to think his way around the rink. And as a coach and for our coaching staff, we just want him to be himself, bring what he brings to the table.
What is Sam Gagner at his best for you, like with this team?
Yeah, I think he's hockey intelligence. I think he does have a unique skill set. I think he's got a good shot. He gets sticks on pucks. He finds himself in hard areas to score. But I think as some of our younger players in that bottom six, you know, he's also a resource to talk the game with. And as I said, you know, we've had not a lot of production from that part of our lineup. And for us to move to where we want to move to, we need some production. So it's Sam's turn for a shot.
Jay, it's super early, and it's maybe one of the least of your worries based on the history of it, but your power play the last few years obviously been unreal at 29%. It's at 24, which for most teams would be great. The shot volume, though, is down significantly. You've led the league the last few years by quite a large margin, the amount of shots you get on the power play. It's down. What are you seeing there, and what will allow to get the shot volume back up?
Well, mindset, number one. Number two, I think making sure that we are taking advantage of the power plays that we do get. You know, a big thing for us on our power play is when the power play finds success. Does it find success when you're up 5-2 for a sixth goal? Or does it find success early in a game when you're able to get on top of a team? Or when the game's on the line at 2-2? Those are things that we spend a lot of time talking about, making sure that it rises to the occasion that presents itself. A couple of those games, and in those games we had a few power plays. You know, the head of our snake wasn't there. Key component of that power play. Now, that doesn't excuse, I think we were 1 for 7 with him out. That doesn't excuse not performing, because we have a lot of really good hockey players that can go out there. But for us, I think our power play is no different than every other part of our game. There's room for improvement.
Going to your penalty kill,
Yep.
It looked actually really good against Calgary in literally 1 second, because the one power play, it was expired at the exact time that the goal was scored, and the other one was second in Nugent Hopkins. And that's like the difference of being 78 and 72%.
Yeah, and you know what? I think that's the third time this year we've given up a goal with 1 second left on the clock. So for me, that's where the eye test is just as important as reading a spreadsheet. And, you know, we're aware of that. We also gave one up where a player was passing a puck. It went off our knee and into the net. I think those things kind of even out over time. But for us, focusing on what led to some of the good things there in the outdoor game is going to be a continued focus for us. And, you know, one thing I didn't say when you were talking about our power play, we're going against a really, really effective penalty kill tonight. And a power play on Dallas's side that can ice some pretty dangerous players. So special teams rising to the occasion is going to be an important point for us tonight.
You noticed, I mean, obviously teams try to take Connor away with the drop pass to Connor, but are teams trying to stop the seam pass to Leon? Now it's almost like the goalie's expecting, okay, that's going to Leon, I'm getting across. And there was one chance earlier where the goalie, you know, got faked right out of the net and gave up a goal.
I think that was against Winnipeg. Yeah.
Winnipeg. So are you noticing that? I mean, is Leon, he's a smart player. He obviously has to move around a little bit more than like to shoot from the hash marks.
Yeah, and I think in part of what makes our power play as effective as it's been over the last while has been making sure that all 5 people are a threat. It's understanding the way penalty kills would like to play you. And each team represents a different problem or a different challenge for our power play because they do some things differently or they might play us a little bit differently. That's all part of preparing yourself to take what is given. in the end, it doesn't matter for us who scores the goal or where they score that goal from. As I said earlier, it's about scoring the big goal and making sure that we're reading what a penalty kill is giving us, making sure that everybody's dangerous, and finding a solution to the problem that penalty kills presented.
Jay, does an opposing team's record even mean anything to you at this point in the proceedings?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Because your record tells a big part of your season story. Not the whole part, but a big part. What I see in the Dallas Stars is a team finding ways to win games. That commands respect and that commands attention. And the Dallas Stars have both our respect and our attention. Thank you.